Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the PvP Live Roundtable, bringing you in-depth discussions on everything gaming and esports. I'm Jeff West, one of the video producers, and today I'm joined by...
John Kolb, video producer number 2.
Nabil Pervez, I run influencer marketing and partnerships.
James Chen, I write shit.
John, walk us through what is happening with Ana, because there was a lot of controversy with the nerf that happened earlier in the week, which has since been reverted, but we'll get to that in just a moment.
Basically what it boils down to is that they're trying to prevent Ana from not necessarily being an overpowered hero, but from overpowering other heroes. Because
of her healing capabilities.
Her healing capabilities and the effects of her biotic grenade. Damage and healing output was 50% of its original value, so it was a significant change.
I think the big thing to keep in mind, though, is she is one of the sole reasons why Triple Tank exists, right? Of course, it was a culmination of her and Roadhog being as wacky as he was, but the reason why it works is with Ana having the ability to heal a massive health pool, a la the Triple Tanks, you then gained access to your ultimate a lot faster. And by reducing how quickly you heal them up, you reduce the rate at which you can use your ultimate, and thus making her a bit more balanced, so to speak.
And that being said, today we saw a revert for Ana. James, walk us through what happened today.
So obviously getting rid of both her damage and her healing at the same time was a bit too much. And everybody was holding literally funerals for the poor character. So they reverted...
I accepted my invite.
Yep. So they reverted the healing values, I believe, back to what it was before the most recent patch. Which I kind of find... There is a reason why they nerfed that in the first place. Getting rid of her damage is fine, but her healing is what's allowing a stagnant triple tank meta in the first place. You're just upholding the status quo, which does need to be changed. I personally feel that you can keep the values, but you should probably do something to make it so that it's not as effective as it was before. Either extending the cooldown for biotic grenades in the first place, or shrinking the viability for hitting friendly targets.
It comes back to design with purpose, and I think the purpose of Ana should instead be more of a spot healer, spot one particular person and be able to boost them up quickly and effectively, versus healing in a pack. I think that kind of fits Sniper as a role a lot more.
That's the other thing. Sure, she's a healer sniper, but snipers do damage. They gotta be able to aim for birds and them just not laugh at them whenever they pluck a feather from a freaking bullet. She gotta be able to do damage. I don't know why they gotta nerf that.
I agree.
What if she misses the shot?
There's also the whole thing where the rest of her kit, unlike biotic grenade, is in fact single target healing or single target damage. You can only nano boost one target, and if you happen to miss it, hit Torbjorn instead. Then you better throw Torbjorn to the front. We've all seen the comic.
Unless Torbjorn gets that weird little bomb thing.
Yep. If she wants to heal a single target without biotic grenade, it has to be one at a time and slowly. If she wants to damage anybody with the damage per second drain with her offensive attacks, then she can also do only one person at a time and only one shot at a time. Unlike even Widowmaker, which has the assault rifle mode if she needs to go do a close quarters combat. But all of Ana's kit relies on biotic grenade in the status quo. The meta is completely dependent on that one spell versus what she's designed to do.
Yeah. So
I'm thinking hell, she has an alt fire on Sleep Dart, she has biotic grenade, why not make biotic grenade itself a custom bullet instead, right? Like a primer for her now machines.
Yeah, I agree with you when it comes to that. It should be something that's single target focused, but I definitely think that that's the direction that Ana should be going in. But it all depends on the healing values, right? Because who's to say she just doesn't target Roadhog all over again and then continue to heal up. So I definitely think it's better when it's just one of the three tanks, but I definitely think that doing that for single target is definitely going to discourage the triple tank meta and then allow for more creativity.
We also have to think about how the PTR is serving the Overwatch community. It seems the Overwatch team isn't necessarily doing these drastic changes on Ana so that they could push them to live. They may not even implement the changes that they...
Well, yeah, that's another interesting point. Jeff Goodman himself even posted on the message board, I'm paraphrasing, but we'll throw the actual quote up on the screen right now, the sort of process, it sounds like, from the development team was, let's put her out there, have people test her out, get some feedback, and then we'll go back to the drawing board. So it definitely feels like they are making it doesn't feel like they are making kind of concrete, finite decisions. They're tweaking something, putting it out there, and then if fans don't like it, then they'll just change it back. Or
before, the way they were doing it, they were like, hey, here's this new hero, try her out. Okay, we're going to push her to live now. Or like with Zenyatta, for instance, the Orbit Discord, you could do it through a barrier a day ago. Today, you can't do it anymore. It doesn't necessarily mean that this is Rib Anna, everyone rejoice because you're never going to deal with the tank meta again. So whether or not she needs any additional changes after this, I don't know, because they may not even keep them. Look at no one's talking about Junkrat's changes, like the fact that his frag grenades and his ult no longer harms him or kills him.
Right.
That is a huge change for his kid, because that was one of the biggest downfalls about him, is that, yeah, he has great AoE splash damage, yeah, he has a lot of damage for his ult and just his regular primary, but the fact that he could take damage from his attacks was a big balance issue. Now if you're stuck in a fucking room with 3 other people, you can just go trigger happy and not have to worry about suiciding. Like, and they may not keep that. It's just one of those things where they're using the PTR for what it was intended for, and these things may not mean that they're gonna go through.
I think the difference is that with Overwatch's community versus some of the others is like their feedback is actually pretty reasonable most of the time.
Yeah.
And it's actually like not bad game design. Like, granted, you know, there are of course idiots that want very like improperly balanced things, but at the end of the day, like
Delete Hanzo.
the overall the overarching theme is like I feel like Overwatch is in a healthy place in terms of how people look at this game, and I feel like the intelligence and the counterplay and understanding how the character archetypes are supposed to work is generally a lot higher in this game.
That's a very good point that you bring up. John, you and I were kind of talking about this the other day. I feel like there's a difference between a character being underpowered versus the character being the archetype that they are, and it just coming down to player strategy. I mean,
so part of the whole strategy thing and the part of the whole nerfs and buffs issue is that the individual characters aren't necessarily completely overpowered in Overwatch. It's a matter of the emergent properties of the strategy level that's like shows up in ranked play and shows up in pro play, and demonstrates how like certain key abilities interacting with each other may be too much. Like the biotic grenade thing. If you're on a one-on-one duel between an Ana and another Ana, and all you're using is the biotic grenade so you can deal more damage to prevent them from healing, like it doesn't seem that much of an issue. You put that in a 6v6 format with multiple tanks possible, and you can just like spray and pray healing all over the place and turn like them into invincible like slaughterhouses or just invincible like walls of fat. Then now we have a problem. The design for Overwatch seems individually on an individual basis to be pretty sound, but it's really hard to actually plan around these kind of emergent properties without having the millions of man hours that the player base can sink into compared to Blizzard's Q&A, no matter how much money you throw at them.
Yeah, it's designed for in a bubble versus design versus in the wild. Yeah, that makes sense.
Are there any other nerfs or buffs that you see that are necessary for the game for any of the heroes?
No. I like what they did to Sombra. I think I'm excited to see how she plays out. I would like them to bring back the changes for Zenyatta to the Discord orb, but the reduced spread for him is a step in the right direction.
I agree with you, John, except I'd like to see Sombra's spray on her primary fire tightened up a little bit. The damage is fine. I think the damage is good. Just feel like it's. I would like to see it tightened up a little bit more.
A little tighter.
And I think Sombra will be in a really good place, actually. I hope that with these changes and with the confident players, we'll start seeing more Sombra play.
I'm withholding judgments on what needs nerfs or buffs until after Orisa comes out. Like, how she interacts with the team is going to determine a lot of how balance is in the future, whether or not certain abilities are too much. Whether or not Biotic Grenade should, in fact, get a nerf after all, because she is, after all, a tank.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, that's going to wrap up this edition of the PvP Live Roundtable discussion. Once again, thank you all for tuning in. Let's have a conversation down in the comments. Is Ana back on track? And have a week.
Bye, Felicia.